Mariam, I'm 19 years old.
Hello, my name is Hasnain. I'm 20 years old.
Hi, I'm Julie and I'm 19 years old.
I'm Sanjita and I'm 19 years old.
I was born in Jamaica, Queens, and I grew up on Long Island.
I was born in Bangladesh and I came here when I was 8 years old to Jamaica.
I was born in Johannesburg, South Africa, but grew up mostly in Atlanta, Georgia.
I was born in Queens and I was raised in Queens and Long Island.
I'm a Muslim.
I'm a Muslim.
I'm Jewish.
I'm a Muslim.
So I went to a public school in Long Island, and diversity was never really an issue because people of like all different races and nationalities and religions went to school with me. But I think I don't think I was that involved like with the Muslim scene in high school as I am here in the IC. But me and Fat started this like Zakat club, which was like the MSA in high school, which didn't exist before we like made it, obviously because we created it.
So I went to Jewish day school till I was in about 8th grade. When I was little in South Africa, I think I just went to like preschool or whatever. But so I went to Jewish day school till I was in 8th grade, and I think it was a great foundation of understanding why in Judaism we do sort of things that we do. But then in high school I went to a public school and it was very diverse. There was still a lot of Jewish people around, but my friend group became really Jewish and a lot of Christians. And while like I would do Friday night dinners and I would have Friday night dinner almost every week, I also sometimes went out afterwards or met up with my friends afterwards. So my parents, while we did things like related to Judaism, they also let me kind of decide like how observant I wanted to be. Our house isn't that observant. I feel like because I went to Jewish day school, I was more, and my sister didn't. I kind of had, like whenever we did a holiday, my parents would always ask me what we were supposed to do. So I think it's a great foundation and an understanding where I come from, but I would definitely say Judaism for me is more spiritual and traditional. It's like the culture and the community rather than the actual text.
So I started school here in 3rd grade. I came from Bangladesh, and coming here, faith was always part of my life. So and I moved into a neighborhood where there was a lot of Muslims. But the school in school there was a huge amount of diversity. So I met people of different faith, culture, religion, ethnicity, and that really has carried on throughout my life.
So I actually started out in Catholic school, so I went to pre-K, kindergarten, and 1st grade in a Catholic school near my house in Woodside, Queens. And then I moved to Islamic school from the middle of 1st grade till 5th grade. And then I moved to Long Island end of 5th grade and I started going to public school. So I feel like I got like a whole spectrum of different experiences because I went to 3 different types of schools. And I think because of that, my outlook on the world is, I guess, really varied, and like I appreciate the fact that I was able to experience so many different types of people so young. And also my parents, I guess, not just my parents, but like my entire family like played a role in my religion, not because they were religious, because in fact they weren't religious. Like I don't really consider my family to be too adherent. I guess they're culturally Muslim rather than like spiritually Muslim. But I feel like that allowed me to develop my own ability to choose whether or not I want to follow this religion or not. And I feel like because of that, I was able to make my own personal choices, and I guess it made me the way I am today. So.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Why did you go to Catholic school?
Well, it's actually a pretty simple reason. My parents didn't want to send me to public school in Queens.
Oh, so that was...
Yeah. And like it was a good school, and I learned a lot of prayers. It was cool. I was familiar with the Trinity. I still am.
It sounds like hearing all of our stories that it's like a very similar thing we both just explained, and I went to Jewish day school or whatever, but both of us grew up in these more traditionally or cultural homes rather than like, I don't know, we were able to decide
Yeah, exactly. Like that's
and like
literally it.
exposed to all these different religions and whatever. And I think
Exactly.
that's a huge part of like building tolerance, and it's being exposed and being
Yeah.
educated to.
And also, like, the neighborhoods I lived in were pretty diverse. Like, when I lived in Queens, I had neighbors who were Spanish, neighbors who were also Bengali, like my family, neighbors who were like African American. And then when I moved to Long Island, there were a lot of Indians, and like just people of different faiths. And I found that like just being exposed to so many people just allowed me to like strengthen my own identity.
Yeah, my house, like people always used to say, we had like a revolving door because people were always coming in and out of our house, and it was never like you couldn't bring a certain type of person, whether it was religiously or culturally or had tattoos or piercings or whatever, could really bring anyone into our house, which I think is like a huge part of being accepting and being tolerant. I think that's pretty cool. So one thing that we talk about a lot is being proud of who you are, and Khadija talked about stories and being proud of that history, and she kept talking about like, you know, your history making up who you are and not being ashamed of it. And I think that I've experienced situations where I've not necessarily spoken up for my history. I've not necessarily spoken up about like my background because I was scared of being judged or just scared of being, I don't know, looked at differently. I mean, even here in New York, it was the beginning of the semester, and it was like, I was with a big group of friends, and I was the only Jewish person in my group of friends, and I think it was around one of the high holidays, and like, we were standing in a big group trying to figure out where to go, and a rabbi came up to us, and he was like, are any of you Jewish? And I found myself not saying anything and just kind of turning my back, and then afterwards I was like, why did I do that? He probably had a good intention, like, and I found myself questioning why I do that. And so from there, and kind of on like my own spiritual journey, starting in college and really understanding how much I want to follow Judaism, or what parts of Judaism or spirituality in general.
Okay, so like going off of that, something similar happened to me. I actually wrote about this in my paper. So in my 9th grade, like world history class, we were learning about religion, and this is the only time I've learned about religion and like throughout my entire public school career. And so we didn't really talk about religion. We talked about like the basic principles of like Christianity, Judaism, Islam. And then, so when we were talking about Islam, like as an introduction, my teacher was like, so like side note, so the people that I was going to school with, I've been going to school with them since I was 5 years old. So since I was in kindergarten, so they know me, they know my family. Like my mom wears hijab. They knew when I was like fasting during Ramadan. They knew like I didn't talk to boys. Like they knew what else. They knew that I was Muslim. And so my teacher, like as an introduction, was like, who here? She was like, in this room, if you're friends with like a Muslim person, raise your hand. And these are like all my peers that I've known for like over 10 years at this point, and nobody raised their hand. Like nobody in the entire class would raise their hand, and I didn't understand it like at all. And then I was like really offended, and because I don't have a filter, I like immediately like my hand shot up, and I was like, why would you ask that question? And why did no one raise their hands? If you guys know I'm Muslim, like why wouldn't you? And it was weird because no one even had a response. They're just like, we don't know why we didn't raise our hand. But at the same time, it's also like this. It's just an issue of like us, so like the rest of the classroom versus them, which was me, like representing the entire religion of Islam. And it's like by creating this us versus them issue, you create that distinction, you create that separation.
So for me, I moved over here when I was 8 years old. I went to school back home, and I went to secular public school, and I also went to religious school. So all of this time I just had the same kind of education, where I was with the same people, the same kind of people. And once I came here, it was very different. You go to school and you see people from all over the world in your classroom. I've never seen that before. My first day of class, I was really scared. What's going on in my life? But slowly, it was welcoming, and slowly I started to fit in. But the thing I learned, I think the most valuable thing I took away was the fact that it really didn't matter to them. It mattered to me when I was was thinking, but to them I was just, you know, another kid in the classroom. For them it didn't really matter, you know, who I was just another kid in the classroom. For me it was different. It's like I was looking at different people trying to think, you know, what they're thinking of me. And one of the things, you know, that took me back when Fatima Shama talked about it was the immigrant affairs and how she's working on providing services to these individuals who are coming from all over the world. And I think she plays an incredible role in the city where the growing population is majority is minority. You know, so I think she plays an incredible role. And her background is very diverse, being that she's from two different, her parents are from two different faiths, and she's a Muslim in a major city Christian position.
So, like I said, I grew up in a very diverse neighborhood. The schools I went to were very diverse as well. However, I wasn't really in touch with my faith because, like I said, I was raised culturally a Muslim, not really practicing because I wanted to, but once I reached, I guess, a turning point in my life because of various events, I became more cognizant of why I was practicing the faith that I was practicing. And like as you can see, I wear a hijab, and I remember making the conscious decision to start wearing a hijab, and it was before anyone in my family did. In fact, my mom wasn't even, she didn't even wear a hijab until a year later. So I feel like certain events of my life really catalyzed my adherence to my faith. And another thing that I really found valuable as a freshman at NYU was my trip to Joplin, Missouri with the Bridges Muslim Jewish Interfaith Dialogue Club. And there was a mosque there that was burned down because of Islamophobia and just hatred for religion, for Islam, obviously. And I was able to visit the community there, and what surprised me was the fact that I found that the entire community just came together and they just supported each other, and it was something that was really touching to see, because you'd think that people would be resentful of what happened, but I think certain things like that just brought the community closer. And I think that it was really inspirational how people were able to take such a negative thing and turn it into something positive. So, yeah.
I'm Mariam and I'm a student at NYU.
I'm Julia and I'm a student at NYU.
I'm Sanjita and I'm a student at NYU.
I'm Hussein and I'm a student at NYU Poly.